Good day everyone. So this time we're going to discuss about collaborative strategies. Collaborative strategies are explicit approaches or procedures to guide the process of collaborative learning. Collaborative learning occurs when dyads or small groups have been engineered to share responsibility, authority, and learning outcomes. There are 8 collaborative strategies. The first one is establish clear group goals. Effective collaborative learning includes the establishment of group goals as well as individual accountability. This keeps the group on task and establishes an unambiguous purpose. Before beginning an assignment, it is best to define goals and objectives to save time. Group mid-size. Small group of 3 or fewer usually lack enough diversity and may not allow divergent thinking to occur. Groups that are too large create freeloading, where not all members participate. A moderate-sized group of 4 or 5 is an ideal.
Third, build trust and promote open communication. So, open communication is a successful interpersonal communication must exist in teams. Building trust is the essential deal with the emotional issues that arise immediately and any interpersonal problem before. Moving on, assignments should encourage team members to explain concepts truly to each other. Studies found that students who provide and receive intricate explanations gain the most from the collaborative learnings. Fourth is create a practice and post-this. So, create a practice and post-this is a good way to ensure the group learns together would be to engage in a pre- and post-test. In fact, many researchers use this method to see if groups are learning. Assessment gives the team a goal to work towards and ensures learning is a priority. It also allows instructions gauge the effectiveness of the group.
The fifth collaborative strategy is using real-world problems. It means bringing the relevance, complexity, and motivation of the real world to learning. Experts suggest that project-based learning using open-ended questions can be very engaging. Rather than spending a lot of time designing an artificial scenario, use inspiration from everyday problems. Real-world problems can be used to facilitate project-based learning and often have the right scope for collaborative learning. When we say project-based learning, it's about acquiring deeper knowledge through active exploration of real-world challenges and problems, with the use of open-ended questions that cannot be answered with a yes or no response but required a longer response. Not only does it make the lesson more meaningful for students, but students become properly engaged. They also become more aware of the choices they could make in society. The purpose of education is to prepare students for life. Incorporating real-world connections into a lesson plan help the students understand why and what they're learning at is useful beyond school. So afterwards, the learning experience will be optimized and the learners will have the valuable insight to better use the obtained knowledge and have the experience to know how to look for new solutions and opportunities. Real-life problem-solving activities give students the opportunity to collaborate and generate dialogue. Students need to talk in order to get information they want, reach a decision, or solve a problem. Real problems given to the students can improve the collaboration of students related to the increase in learner satisfaction solving problems related to their life and the actual problem together. The sixth collaborative strategy is be wary of groupthink. While collaborative learning is a great tool, it is always important to consider a balanced approach. At times, group harmony can override the necessity for a more critical perspective. In many cases, people will set aside their own personal beliefs or adapt the opinion of the rest of the group. People who are opposed to the decisions or overriding opinions of the group as a whole frequently remain quiet, preferring to keep the peace rather than disrupt the uniformity of the crowd. Collaborative learning is best seen when we give each group members regular opportunities to share their ideas and thoughts. Two people may see the same thing, but they will always have different interpretations with it. Perceptions vary from person to person. Different people perceive different things about the same situation. When people in groups have diverse backgrounds and experiences, they are better able to bring different perspectives, informations, and ideas to the table. This enhances decisions and make it less likely that group will fall into groupthink patterns.
Number 7. Include different types of learning scenarios. Studies suggest that collaborative learning that focuses on rich context and challenging questions produces higher order reasoning. Assignments can include laboratory work, study terms, debates, writing, projects, problem solving, and collaborative writing. A learning scenario is an prior description of learning situation, independently of the underlying pedagogical approach. It describes its organization with the goal of ensuring the appropriation of the precise set of knowledge, competence, or skills. Not only does it provide higher education engagement as scenarios depict real-life situation, making them relatable, but it also provides a safe environment to practice and understand. For example, a possible scenario would be that we move to the city. The most likely scenario is that he goes back to school in the fall. The best case scenario would be for us to finish the work by tomorrow. In the worst case scenario, we would have to start the project all over again. Next is use scaffolding. At the beginning of a project, you may want to give more direction than at the end. Severe as a facilitator, such as gauging group interaction, or at first, providing a list of questions to consider. Allow groups to grow in responsibility as time goes on. In a scaffolded learning environment, students are free to ask questions, provide feedback, and support their peers in learning new material. When you incorporate scaffolding in the classroom, you become more of a mentor and facilitator, or of knowledge rather than the dominant content expert. For example, build on a prior knowledge. Let's say you are introducing your students to long division. Obviously, you can't start scaffolding until you understand what students already know. You need to understand what concepts they've mastered and where they still need practice. You might have this data from previous units or from the past teachers, but you might not have all the data, especially this year, considering that student loss from COVID-19 related school closure. There are a few ways you can identify learning gaps and activate prior knowledge. Mini lessons, journal entries, vocabulary lesson, entry or exit tickets, front-loading vocab, quick class discussion. If you discover your students have mastered place value but still have trouble remembering some of their division facts, that's where you need to start. Instead of jumping straight into the long division problems right away, build on their understanding of division skills first. This will build a solid foundation for the rest of your unit.